answers are. I need at least 2 people to give me the same answer before we can move on. So please come off mute and be ready to talk. So for elicitation and collaboration knowledge area, which task in the elicitation and collaboration knowledge area may use all of the following techniques: brainstorming, focus groups, interviews, and observation? Would it be confirm elicitation results, conduct elicitation, prepare for elicitation, or manage elicitation results? Now, I want to bring to your attention, not all of these are tasks within this knowledge area, right? Can someone tell me which one is not a task within this knowledge area?
Oh no. People are saying B.
Okay, you're right. B is not a task within this knowledge area. So that means we can automatically eliminate that. Even if we only guessed, we would have a much better chance now that we've eliminated that. So which one is the correct answer for these 4 techniques?
Huh. Which task and elicitation collaboration knowledge area may use all of the following techniques? I thought we could have eliminated manage elicitation results. I don't think there's a manage task.
There is not a manage elicitation result. You're right.
So if
that
that's
means
eliminated, we're choosing between A, B, and C. So EJ is answering B. As in EJ, you think that's the answer, right? And Fate is saying B as well.
Okay.
I think she agreed that D is not the one. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see if this is the correct answer.
Oh, there you go.
All have these 4 techniques listed. Good job, guys. Let me turn on my chat so that I can try to follow along with you. Okay, the next one, we only have 5 tasks in this knowledge area. You are mentoring a new business analyst in the communications arena. You're preparing for their role as a facilitator for a workshop that will review requirements elicited for a to date for purchase. Sorry, I'm going to start that over. They're preparing for their role as a facilitator in a workshop that will review requirements elicited to date for purposes of confirmation for source stakeholders. They're using the BABOK as reference for their prep. They come to you asking about business analysis information since the BABOK says they need it as an input, but they have no idea as to what it includes. How do you explain the term business analysis information to them? You explain to them that business analysis information means all the stated requirements documented to date from that group of stakeholders, along with their stated and documented concerns for review at the workshop. Instead of giving them the answer, you try to help them to be more resourceful by advising them to check the glossary and get back to you with further questions. You tell them that business analysis information is a catch-all phrase that basically means any kind of information at any level of detail that is used as an input for or output of business analysis work. Or you explain to them that business analysis information means all the stated requirements documented to date from that group of stakeholders for review at the workshop. Oh my goodness, which one of these is the best answer according to the BABOK? I have 1 vote for C. I have 2 votes for C. Can somebody tell me why you chose C?
We have Faith, Michelle, and EJ. Can one of you share your thought process in picking C? Okay, Faith is saying the term catch all.
Okay, all right, let's check that answer. And that is the correct. This is the exact definition of business analysis information. It's a quote from, part of it is a quote from the BABOK. Very good.
Nice.
Okay. Stacy is a business system analyst assigned to a new management reporting initiative. Stacy had noted that a few of the current managers are a bit reluctant to make any changes to the existing management reports and may not be cooperative while sharing their requirements about the management reports. What should Stacy do to manage those reluctant stakeholders? Stacy should explore lessons learned documents from previous projects to find the solution from experiences of similar situations in any past project. Stacy should take actions to prepare the stakeholders for the change initiative and ensure their buy-in. Stacy should discuss the matter with the project manager and seek his or her help to sort this out. Or as stakeholders are from the senior management team, Stacy should discuss this matter with the sponsor and seek his or her help to sort this out. Which one would the Babok say is the right answer? I see one for A. C,
Okay.
PM should know, and D, because the sponsor should interact with senior management. That's good logic.
Okay. Although I think C would be one of the easier ones to rule out because Babok doesn't really use a project manager a lot.
The PM is involved with 2 of the 5 tasks in this chapter. Well, no, I'm sorry. The PM is involved in all of the tasks in this chapter, because any stakeholder is listed as for 3 of them.
Okay. I guess we should first think, okay, which task is she performing right now? Let's see some. She's preparing for elicitation.
Well, she's already talked to them to find that they're reluctant and they may not be cooperative while sharing requirements. So it could be prepare, because this looks like it's future. Let's pick one and go on for times.
Okay.
So Manu, I'm sorry, give me a tiebreaker. I got
I think
we got one
you have an
person.
A,
Okay.
yeah, and a C and a D.
I got 2 refer to lessons learned. Oh, those are both from Rico. Let's check lessons learned, okay?
Sure.
Okay. It's partially correct. She can learn about it, but she has to take necessary actions to sort out the issue. So this is, she has to take actions. In preparing for elicitation, the business analyst should ensure that there is buy-in from all necessary stakeholders. It doesn't tell us what the actions are. It doesn't tell us who she goes to specifically. It may need just be a conversation with that individual to see what their concerns are and perhaps alleviate their concerns.
Okay. Well, you got the right task.
Yeah, we're in the right tab. Okay, move on. Of the following, which are key inputs required to adequately prepare to elicit requirements information on this project? Is it the business case and the needs, stakeholder list maps and personas, solution scope needs, or stakeholder engagement approach and needs. So we want the inputs to one of our tasks, and the task is we're going to be eliciting requirements information. So would that be conduct elicitation? Or prepare for elicitation? So we know what the inputs to those are, right?
So we have multiple different answers. We have Faith saying D, Michelle agrees with Faith, and Hannah saying B.
Okay. Well, I've got two Ds. Can somebody tell me why you think it's
Three
D?
Ds. Danielle is also saying D.
Well, let's check D. And that is correct. I want to point out needs is only in like 3 or 4 of the tasks throughout the Bablock, and this is the one in this knowledge area that needs is an input. Very good. Understanding the needs helps the BA understand the scope and purpose of elicitation activities, while the stakeholder engagement approach helps the BA plan appropriate and effective elicitation events. Y'all are rocking. I do wish you'd talk to us, though. I want to know why you like these. Preety, a business analyst, has been working on a project to develop a footbridge across a major avenue in one of the busiest roadways junctions of Sydney, Australia. Preety is in the initial phase of the project and is planning on how to collect requirements from identified stakeholders. Kelly, the project manager, is checking in with Preety to see if everything is on track or if she is facing any challenges or roadblocks. At this stage of the project, how can Kelly best help Preety move forward in her work? So Kelly is a project manager. In this task, the project manager has a specific role. The project manager should work with the sponsor to determine if all relevant stakeholders have been identified before elicitation begins. The project manager should identify the risk involved in the requirements of elicitation activity and create a migration and contingency plan. The project manager should allocate the funds needed to conduct the business analysis activities properly, or the project manager should ensure the appropriate stakeholders and other physical resources are available for the elicitation session. So for this one, I see a D and a D. That is exactly what the Bablock says the project manager's role is in this task.
All right. Very good.
Very good. According to the Bablock, which of the following are the tasks listed in the elicitation and collaboration knowledge area? Okay, list of tasks. Prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation results, communicate business analysis information, and verify the outcomes of the solution. Prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation results, communicate business analysis information, and manage stakeholder collaboration. Prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation results, document elicitation, and communicate business analysis information. Or prepare for elicitation, conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation results, communicate business analysis information, and facilitate stakeholder engagement. Which one of those is not even the right answer? You're
Not
right.
A. Okay.
A, there's nothing about solution in this knowledge area as far as the task list. So it's one of the others. And I got B.
Faith, is that your answer? Or are you saying that's also not right? That's the answer. All right.
Okay.
C is my answer according to Danielle. I'm curious, are you guys open book or do you just memorize it?
That might be too many questions.
No book today. All right. I think
Okay.
we're good to go with B. Yeah.
Okay, let's check B as the answer. And that is the correct list of the 5 elicitation and collaboration tasks. Good job, guys. What is a primary difference between formal and informal documentation as possible forms for business analysis information packages? Formal documentation is usually based on a template used by an organization and provides a stable, easy to use long-term record of the information. Formal documentation always includes text, matrices, and or diagrams. Formal documentation is always approved and signed off on by the sponsor, or formal documentation is always presented in the form of a presentation. Which one of those does the Babok say is the correct answer? I've got one
Fate
vote.
says A. Wow, Fate's on a roll. I don't think you've got one wrong answer, Fate.
Okay, I've got B or C as another possible answer. If y'all could come off mute and tell us why you think these answers are correct, that's honestly how these recordings are going to be valuable later. Not just figuring out what the right answer is why you like that answer, because it helps other people have good reasoning. A is
Daniel
my
says
because of the term template by the organization. Okay, I've got several A's and several C's. Okay, which one are we going to go with?
I'm sold on A.
You're sold on A. Let's check A. Okay, this is the correct description of formal documentation according to the Babok. I want to show you what C would give us. The Babok makes no mention of sponsor approvals, but it does seem reasonable, right? That seems very formal, but we're going with A.
Yeah. But I guess when you say always, that's what makes it
Yes,
wrong.
you're right. You're right. Whenever it has always in it, it could, we don't do anything always. We're more
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. And next, there are 5 types of elicitation and collaboration tasks that business analysts must complete as part of their role and responsibilities. Which one is not a task that the business analyst may complete as part of their roles and responsibilities in this knowledge area? They communicate business analysis information, prepare for elicitation, engage stakeholders, or conduct elicitation. Which one of these is not a task in the knowledge area, elicitation and collaboration?
Well, there was already a previous question that you got right about listing the tasks. So you should get this one too.
So C is not a task in this knowledge area, is what you're saying. Anybody else? I need at least 2 votes for one of the answers before we can move forward. Anybody else? Okay, while I'm tempted to move forward for time's sake, that means that y'all will stop answering. And I don't want to do that. I need 2 answers on one. I need 2 responses on one answer to move forward, please.
Do you agree with Fate? Or do you think it's something else? EJ also says it's C.
And that is correct. This is not one of the stated tasks. There's only 5 tasks, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
you're selecting elicitation techniques for an upcoming requirements workshop. What is not a valid criterion to use when selecting techniques for an elicitation activity? Is it your preferences, the culture of the organization, cost and time constraints, or desired outcomes? So this is not a valid criterion. 3 of these are, 1 of these aren't. According to the Babok.
EJ says it's A.
Okay, got 1 vote for A and 2
Faith
votes
agrees.
for A. Okay.
So it's
BA
Michelle.
should select techniques based upon desired outcomes, cost and time constraints, and the culture of the organization, and access to sources of business analysis information, not their preferences, even though it'd be more comfortable. I want to say in the real world, sometimes doing what you feel comfortable with has benefits, but you've got to do it according to what the needs are of the organization. And as you expand and do things that you're not comfortable with, you'll get more comfortable. Stephen has conducted a number of elicitation sessions with a group of stakeholders from the mortgage loan department for the requirements as part of a new project. How will Stephen determine when requirement elicitation from the business group is complete? When all stakeholders from the group have shared their requirements, when all stakeholders from the group have shared understanding of the requirements they provided, when business analysts have validated that all items defined in the scope of the elicitation are completed, or when no new stakeholders are identified in that business group to share their requirements. What does the Babok say? I'm sorry, I misread this. When they have a shared understanding of the requirements they have provided. B, because of shared understanding. Okay, several B's. Let's go with that one. Ooh, stakeholders can have a shared understanding of those requirements, but there may be other requirements to be considered in scope. And defining scope of elicitation allows the business analyst to identify when the elicitation activity is complete. Interesting. So to get the answer right on the test, that's what you got to know. I've discovered that requirements can come out of the woodwork after you think you've got them all. You got to still always be open to more requirements, and then every requirement means that you've got to go back to the requirements that you had and review them to be sure that there's no impact on those, nothing's contradicting each other. It just goes on, but this is what it is for the test. Business analysts have validated that all items defined in the scope of elicitation are completed. Which stakeholders participate in confirming elicitation results? Is it the BA, the program team, the project team, stakeholders with enough authority to approve requirements, or stakeholders who have participated in elicitation tasks? Confirming elicitation results is the task.
Faith is saying D, so is Michelle. EJ thinks it's the project team. Which isn't actually a stakeholder, so I think that's one that can be easily crossed out. So we have a couple of B's and a couple of D's.
Okay.
Is there anyone to break the tie? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and break it. It's D.
Okay, let's check D. And that is correct. These people could be considered domain subject matter experts. I'm going to show you, this is my spreadsheet that I've shown you over and over. So the domain SME or any stakeholder, that question is kind of weird because it's like, what do you mean people with enough authority? Anybody who is giving you a elicitation, who is giving you requirements has authority to confirm it, right? But in this case, they're kind of using a weird phrase to say the project team and as an option, and then stakeholders who have participated in a elicitation task as the domain SME. I don't think it's going to be that hard on the test. People have told me that watermark questions are a little bit harder than the test, so we're good there. Okay, you're a business analyst working on a project to upgrade the current billing system. After eliciting all of the requirements from relevant stakeholders, you set up a meeting with solution team to explain the new functionality requested and to review the changes needed to the existing functionality. In this meeting with developers, you discover that some requirements will not work with the current system functionality, and you find inconsistencies and gaps in the requirements. As a business analyst, what could you have done to avoid these issues earlier in the process? The business analyst could have studied the current system functionality well before eliciting requirements. The business analyst could have confirmed the elicitation results right after any elicitation activities to ensure they were accurate. The business analyst could have involved development team in the elicitation activities, or the business analyst could have questioned the right SMEs or knowledge stakeholders who had understood the system functionality. According to the BABOK, which one is the right answer?
Fate says D because of the right SMEs, and I guess we were just looking at that.
Right. That makes good sense. I like that logic. And Fate, I appreciate you answering. Leanie, Enrico, Michelle.
Yeah. 12 out of 14 so far, not bad, huh? Hannah's saying B. The business analyst could have confirmed the elicitation results right after any elicitation activities to ensure they were accurate.
Okay, I've got D's and A and a B. Can somebody tell us why you think your answer is the best one?
I don't think accuracy of elicitation activities is the issue here, though, so probably not B.
Okay.
And then Michelle says A, the business analyst could have studied the current system functionalities well before eliciting requirements. So implying that the preparation wasn't enough. But I think we have more D's, so we can go with D due to popularity.
All right. Elicited information should be confirmed to identify and resolve gaps or problems before resources are committed to use this information. And even if business analyst collaborates with the knowledgeable stakeholders or SMEs during the elicitation activities, confirming elicitation results could help ensure there are no gaps or inconsistencies in the elicited information.
That was sticky.
Do you think that this is a bad question, a bad answer? If you do, I can copy it and send it back to Watermark and tell them that it could be improved.
Huh. Oh, no, yeah, I didn't think the question doesn't really imply that the elicitation results are the issue, does it?
Well, what it
No,
does is
yeah, go ahead.
it says that you gathered all your requirements and then you go to the developers. And the developers say we can't do that.
Okay. So it gathers requirements and then there's no mention of saying that you confirmed that. So it's not wrong. It's tricky.
It's tricky. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go on. Paul is eliciting data requirements and discussing systems communication and how the two systems currently exchange data and services with the stakeholders. What principle is Paul discussing? Is it portability, interoperability, data migration, or trans-system exchange? Of these four phrases, is there one of these that's not even in the Babok?
I don't remember I had a mnemonic on this.
You're right, D does seem a little weird. Okay, so what do we think is the right principle?
Interoperability according to Fate and EJ.
Okay, we got two answers. Let's go with it and see what we got. Interoperability is the ability of systems to communicate by exchanging data or services. Very good. Cato is working with stakeholders on a proof of concept to validate the design of a new system. What type of elicitation is Cato's team utilizing? Is it experiments, prototyping, research, or collaborative? Design of experiments. I got two A's, and that is correct. Experiments involve identifying information that could not be known without some sort of controlled test. Experiments involve observational studies, proofs of concepts, and prototypes. So if you'd said prototypes, it would have could have been right, but it falls under the type, what type of elicitation? So experiments is one of the three types of elicitation. Sheila has been working on a project to upgrade a cross-border money transfer system due to new regulations. For this project, Sheila will need to collaborate with a number of government officials to understand the relevant parts of the new regulation, its scope, any exceptions, penalty limits for noncompliance, and other relevant information in the given context. Which of the following is not an activity that would help to prepare government stakeholders for the requirements elicitation session? Sheila should educate the stakeholders on any elicitation techniques they are unfamiliar with that will be used in the elicitation session. Sheila should send out a meeting agenda to relevant stakeholders well before the elicitation session. Sheila should explore any relevant supporting documents available in the organization and determine what to collect from stakeholders, or Sheila should share any relevant supporting documents to the stakeholders before the requirement elicitation session. I want to note that this one does not give anything to those stakeholders. So I don't think it's going to help prepare them for this session. Do y'all agree? Michelle is saying A. Is that correct, Michelle?
Sorry, that was my answer from the previous question.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay. Fate says A, as B and D helps prepare. Okay. Yanni says A.
Okay.
So we got a couple of A's. Yeah.
And
oh. Yeah. It's C. Well, Fate, you were right about B and D.
But this looks like it's agreeing with A.
Need to educate stakeholders. Which of the following is not an activity? Sheila should. So
not an activity, that's backwards. So this is what she should do, and this is what she should not do.
right, and that's right. So she should do A, B, and D. She should not do C.
Right. We got it. We understand better now. We will do better now. Which of the following is the best definition of business analyst? Any person who holds that title or role in the organization. A trusted advisor to all stakeholders identified during the course of business analysis life cycle. Any person who performs business analysis tasks described in the BABOK, no matter what their job title, or a trusted advisor to business personnel. I've got one C. I've got two C's.
Overwhelming C.
I think y'all read chapter 1. Good job. 1.3. I cannot tell you how many people do not understand this concept. I'm so glad that y'all do. Interviews and interface analysis are techniques used during which task? Is it conduct elicitation, confirm elicitation, prepare for elicitation, or prepare documentation? Guys, is there one of those that's not even a task? You're right. D is not a task. This is not one of the 5 tasks in this knowledge area. And you're saying A is the correct answer. It looks like I've got several A's. I'm having trouble seeing which ones go with which question, but this is the correct answer for this question. Very good. These are the stated techniques used to conduct elicitation. Which of the following options is an input to manage stakeholder collaboration? So input means this is a task. The input is stakeholder register, solution approach, stakeholder engagement approach, or scheduled resources. I've got one vote for C. Got several C's. I've got one A. Okay, let's check this answer. Stakeholder engagement approach describes the types of expected engagement with stakeholders and how they might need to be managed. What is the output of managed stakeholder collaboration, which is a task in this knowledge area? Business analysis performance assessment, stakeholder lists, maps, and personas, stakeholder engagement, or stakeholder collaboration? Okay, I've got several C's, and that is correct. So the managed stakeholder collaboration task output is stakeholder engagement. Which of the following statements is not true regarding collaboration? Collaboration encourages the free flow of information and ideas. Collaboration involves communication on an as-needed basis. Collaboration involves regular, frequent, and bidirectional communication, or collaboration promotes a shared effort to resolve problems. So this is not true.
We have a couple of B's as in boy.
Okay, let's go with B and see if that's the correct answer. This is not a stated descriptor of the collaboration element. Which of the possible forms that business analyst information packages could include? Formal and informal documentation, text, matrices, diagrams, and presentations, formal documentation, or informal documentation?
We have an A, couple of A's. This was in the previous question. JC says B.
Okay. JC, why do you think it's B instead of A? You might be right. Tell us. Maybe JC doesn't have a mic today.
Oh, Brian also says B. Brian, what do you think it's B? Brian or JC? By the way, JC, your message was this to the us hosts and panelists. Can we have an explanation from either side or a tiebreaker?
Right, we don't know which one of these to go with, guys. Tell us why you think. And if we get it wrong, we learn. But tell us why you think, because you might show us something we didn't see before.
EJ also says A. So that's the tiebreaker. It's A.
Okay. This answer is missing presentations. So text matrices diagrams can be considered formal or informal documentations. Presentations are a separate form. Okay, check it out. We learned better, didn't we? We won't make that mistake again. You're the business analyst for your organization, and you've identified the stakeholders in your organization. As part of this identification, you've identified the stakeholder engagement approach, business analysis information, and business analysis performance assessment. What other input is needed to prepare for the elicitation and collaboration tasks? So this is all of the tasks in this knowledge area. Is it supporting documentation, executive sponsor approval, needs, or project charter? I see a C. I see two C's. Very good.
Overwhelming C.
Let's go. Need defines a problem or opportunity being faced. This information is used to determine the information to be elicited when developing business requirements early in the project lifecycle. Very good. Thank you. Monique is analyzing historical data to identify information relevant to her current project. What type of elicitation is Monique utilizing? Is this document analysis, experiments, research, or collaborative?
Hannah says A, document analysis. So does Danielle.
Okay, let's go with
JC.
A.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you are all wrong.
Okay, so research involves systematically discovering and studying information from materials or sources that are not directly known by stakeholders to identify the trends or past results. Stakeholders can still participate in the research. So this is 4.2.2. This is a close second. Document analysis examines materials to describe either the business environment or existing organizational assets versus historical data. In addition, document analysis is a technique versus elicitation type. That's where we got messed up, guys. Document analysis is not one of the three elicitation types. Research is one of the three elicitation types. So whenever they say what type of elicitation type, so we know it's one of the three. We can't choose the technique instead.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is a tricky one.
I want us to have the conversations because we talk about stuff like that. Okay, you've been asked to confirm your results after a requirements workshop. Why is that important? To ensure the work breakdown structure is created in time for risk identification and assessment. To ensure the requirements are accurate and consistent with other information. To ensure the requirements are ready to be specified and modeled. To ensure the project manager understands the requirements for project planning. I've got one vote for B. B, because it says accuracy, consistency. I also have a C. We have more B's than C's. Let's check B. This is the stated purpose for confirming elicitation results. Let's check C and see why. Requirements cannot be specified and modeled at any time during the elicitation process. Confirming requirements ensure that they are accurate and consistent with other information. So this is the one we're going to go with, and let's go on. This is our last question, guys. Which document should you reference to understand the forecasted costs and benefits of the proposed solution as part of the preparation for elicitation? So we're talking about documents. This is going to be an input, the business case, the solution scope, project management plan, or the business need. You're right. There are a lot of questions with two good looking answers, but one is the best answer according to the BABOK. Okay, I've got one vote for A, two votes for A. Let's go with A. Oh, I've got a vote for D. Two votes for D. Let's check A. This is the correct one. The business case assesses the costs and benefits of the proposed solution, which is the question, what the question is looking for. Let's check. It's D. The business needs are the problems and opportunities of strategic importance faced by the enterprise. The business need, or need as the BABOK refers to it, should be included in the business case, which is the correct answer, and why it would contain, as it would contain the forecasted costs and benefits. So this is what we chose originally. We're going to go on, view results. Y'all got 76%. Now, those of you who were doing it without a book, you know how many times you got it right. We think that about 76% is what you need to get it right on, to get it passing grade on the test. But again, the test is a sliding scale based on all the people that are taking it. About the top third of the scores pass. So you want to get the best score you can on this, because you know under test conditions you're going to be a little more stressed. You're not going to have your book. You might not get quite such a good score. So this is a really good score. I think that we are good to go on to the next chapter in 2 weeks. Does everyone agree?
We have yeah, bunch of hearts.
Bunch of hearts, a bunch of applause.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we have a few minutes left. Do you want to talk about doing a lean coffee to address any questions that we have so far?
Oh yeah. So for those of you that weren't here early enough to hear what Thea and I were talking about, I was asking her about well, the chapter leadership is planning to do some supplementary webinars, some supplementary content to sort of support what we're doing here on each knowledge area. We already did one with the interviews, which was supposed to be in support of business analysis, planning, and monitoring, and of course also here elicitation and collaboration. So interviews is heavily used in both of those knowledge areas. So we want your input on what do you want to deep dive into and how do you want to do it when it comes to requirements lifecycle management and strategy analysis. So we'd love to hear your thoughts in what you would like to deep dive into for the next few minutes.
So let me explain what a lean coffee is, just in case people aren't aware or familiar with it. Lean coffee allows you to submit your own questions, and then everybody looks at all the questions that have been submitted, and you can be anonymous. And then after they look at all the questions that are submitted, they vote, and they can upvote certain things, and the things that get upvoted to the top, you know, this one has 6 and nothing else has 6, so we're going to talk about this one first. Then we go to the one that has 5 upvotes. What this does is it allows the most people to get the things that they're interested in. So Lean Coffee lets you ask specific questions about what your material is, or even general questions. But then the voting gets it to be where you get the most people, they get the best answer, and you all get the most topics covered. So you can do it over a specific thing, like you can do benchmarking and market analysis, or you can do Lean Coffee, you know, and you got to bring your coffee to the Lean Coffee. So,
Cheers.
how would you like to get your next information? Do you have a specific topic that you want to hear more about, like interviews, or do you want to do let's do all the questions? Would you like for them to send you their responses as they think of them? And how would they send those to you?
Well, you can speak up now. This is your chance to speak up. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to stop recording at this point so that